just try to play video games off stream with people, and don't think about like the progress that you're losing out on, like, because I always used to like hate playing games off stream. Like, what if I get a nice kill and my chat misses it? Like, what if I like get an ace and it's like the coolest thing I've ever done, but no one's there to watch it? That's totally fine. You know what I mean? Like, you're still getting practice in for that game. Like, you're still like hanging out playing games with friends, and like that's like the main thing of what gaming is just hanging out.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the StreamKey podcast. It's Monday. We're trying to do these on Mondays now, so StreamKey Day. I'm GreenChord, the media marketing director at TRUgaming, and this is our weekly show where we help you level up your stream on Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, Facebook, DLive, Caffeine, all the other ones out there. By the way, real quick, guys, so you guys might be here for the giveaway today. We are doing giveaways for both a headset and a Nintendo Switch Lite. That's going to be after the show, but you will be earning points during the show, so stick around if you want to win those. But first of all, let's go ahead and meet some of the guests here. Coming back to us I'm going to stop counting at this point. Sadomi, welcome back to the show, man. How's it going?
Going good. Hello, everybody. I am Sadomi, as Green just mentioned. I'm your Rocket League guru, your Rocket League aficionado, and future podcaster. So if you want to hear more of my voice, today is a good day to do a preview of my delicious velvety stuff.
Sorry that your delicious velvety stuff was interrupted by an alert there. We had the alerts enabled for the charity stream this weekend, so they should be off now. But Sadomi, welcome back, man. Good to have you. Can you give like a quick brief reminder of what kind of stuff you stream on Twitch?
I'm branching out into Rocket League. I'm doing that for plus a couple of years now, pushing my way to Grand Champ. Also looking to start a couple podcasts based on TRUgaming and my favorite, The Perspective podcast, where we take a few looks into different delves of different societies, different looks and different people's perspectives of life. I just had MPI on it 2 days ago. That'll be dropping at some point in the near future once we get all edited up and all that stuff. Y'all know how that goes. So thank you MPI for that.
Nice. I like you said branching out into Rocket League, even though like that's what you always come back to on your stream. But that's good to hear.
I wasn't gonna say it, but
yeah.
Well, because the tree is myself. I'm the base. I'm the root. I'm the stump.
Wow, we're going real deep on the tree metaphor here, huh? Gotcha. Next up, joining us is Mr. Pure Instinct. How's it going today, sir?
That thing's so hot. It's good. Thanks for having me on. I had to wear it since we had the requests, but I can't breathe in that thing, so I had to take it off, guys. I'm sorry.
Deep breaths.
Yeah, it's like foam this close to your mouth,
mm-hmm.
so it just like bounces back at you the whole time.
Yikes. And you wore that during the charity stream this weekend, which was a hit, I believe.
Yeah, I did. I had that one, and then I have a big Wonder Woman head too. That was another option.
Did you just collect giant inflatable plushy heads?
No, so fun story behind those, actually. We throw a Halloween party every year at our house because Halloween is my favorite holiday. And we always encourage everyone to wear some kind of costume since it's Halloween. So my parents wore these to my house last year and crashed our party. We thought it was two of our friends coming in, and they just came in and didn't say anything and just kind of like sat down. And then took them off, and everybody was so confused. They're like, wait, who are these people? And I was like, that's my dad.
That's pretty funny.
So they're like, I don't know what to do with these now. This was a $5 joke. Please take these away from me.
There you go.
Left them at my house.
That's funny. Can you kind of remind people what stuff you stream, a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I would definitely say that I'm a variety streamer. We stream a lot of Dead by Daylight, and other than that, we do a lot of story-based games. We'll pick one game and play through its entire story. Sometimes we'll go for like 100% achievements. We did that with the entire Spyro trilogy. That's not something I do too often, but sometimes we'll go for that. Mostly it's just we focus on the story. We have a lot of conversations around mental health and the importance of it. So we'll do that while we're gaming and kind of take away from the real heavy conversations that we have with the fun that's in a game.
Mm-hmm. And you do some video editing and like photo stuff outside of streaming too, right?
Yeah, so outside of streaming, I do my own YouTube stuff, but I also do video editing, photography, and videography.
Sweet. Thanks for the reminder, man. And last but not least is Velly joining us once again. Vel, how's it going, man?
It's going very good. Aside from the fact that this is the first time I'm publicly admitting to this. My hair is thinning right here. So like I'm getting bald because I'm old and I'm a fat loser. So there's that. So things are great. I'm not panicking. I'm not upset about it at all. Yeah,
Overall,
I
life
love
is
losing my hair.
yeah.
I'm
for
in such a great like just point in my life right now. You know, I'm fat, jobless, and balding.
And that's the show, everyone. I think.
Embrace the ball. Embrace killing
Are you
it.
still cutting your own hair?
Yeah, well, I haven't cut my hair in a while. I'm gonna try to let it grow out so you can't see the thinning part anymore.
Hmm.
Might pick up some Rogaine. Don't quote me on it. You know.
You can send Rogaine to this address. Awesome, dude. Quick reminder on what you do as well.
I play FPS multiplayer games, above average, I would like to say, mostly not. But yeah, I play multiplayer first-person shooter games, and I like to be loud and yell a lot, and like to be energetic and stuff. So if you like all those things, Velokk_TV.
Don't go
If you
watch.
don't,
Do go watch.
yeah, do. If you don't like them, then I'm sorry.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, again, this is Stream Key. This is the first 10 minutes or so. Actually, I guess the first half hour, we'll go through some streaming news. It's definitely later than last week because last week was all the TwitchCon stuff, but there's still a decent bit of stuff to talk to this week. And then the rest of the hour and a half after that will be call-ins and questions from you guys. So you can actually call into the show via Discord if you'd like and ask a question related to streaming. Or if you can't get the Discord for any reason, just tag @TRUgaming in the chat and we will go through your questions that way. So first of all, let's go through the news. Again, a decent bit of stuff this time. I think the biggest thing that got announced was Twitch signed its first multi-year exclusivity contract with a streamer, and that was Nick Merckx. And basically what this is a lot of the details are still kind of unknown, but it's at least 2 years, and Twitch has sort of signed Nick Merckx to stay on Twitch. This is different from the partnership contract, which already has an exclusivity clause. This is he's getting paid to stream on Twitch. So again, a lot of people think this is a reaction to like Ninja's move and other streamers moving platforms lately. Now you might see platforms try to tie down their streamers via paid contracts so that they're not dependent on things like subs or bits or donations, but they have that actual constant paycheck to go through via Twitch. So what do you guys think about this, Twitch making this move? It's a pretty big move, I'd say. Sadomi, you want to start?
So I kind of view this as the same thing that happens to like regular non-partner streamers with affiliate, but for higher partners now. Kind of that makes sense in that way, because it's kind of a new like goal for some people. Maybe like, hey, listen, if I'm up here, maybe Twitch will, give me a contract and I'm set and I'm good and I'm set. Or what I also think is going to happen is this is kind of like a lassoing in. So grabbing Nick Merckx, he's pretty big. Other creators be like, listen, if other places come towards me, Twitch may make me an offer too. So I have that option to ask around. So that will also delay people who are thinking about switching over to like more like contract with smaller companies because they're thinking of, hey, I'm already on Twitch. It's easy. Like at that point for Nick Merckx, that's just free money, I think, at that point for him. For the most part, as long as it's not too long and things don't change too much with Twitch going forward, that's just free money for him at that point.
Because unless he was already planning to move somewhere else, right? If he was going to stay on Twitch anyway, then it's just an extra bonus.
Yeah.
Gotcha. MPI, what do you think about this move?
I mean, I think people saying it's kind of a response to Ninja leaving is probably pretty accurate. I would say that they're feeling it a little bit after that one, and they want to keep their top dog status for as long as they can and forever. So I think it makes a lot of sense why they are doing it, and I think it makes sense for a content creator. This isn't the first time we've seen content creators sign these kind of contracts. And just like Sadomi and you said, it's free money for him at that point, especially if he's still, you still make your subs, bits, and whatever else he's making on the side with ads and any other deals that he has. So I think it makes sense for both sides, really, as long as it's not too long of an exclusivity deal or they don't start to try to get involved with the content and say, no, you can't make this kind of content or you can't say this on your stream. As long as he stays who he is and gets to keep making what he makes and just has guaranteed income, I think it's smart.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, there's a lot of potential things that could come out of this. And Vel, what do you think?
I think it's cool. I think it's awesome that Twitch is starting to, take this kind of stuff seriously. you know, obviously, like we've all said, and everybody knows that, you know, losing Ninja is a pretty big deal. Obviously, Twitch is still doing fine without him, but I think it's cool that they're starting to take this seriously, and they're starting to realize the benefit of having these top tier, like really high level streamers. Because if they lose like another big Fortnite streamer, that could be a huge hit. You know what I mean? Like losing Ninja is one thing and is manageable, but like if you were to lose like Tim the Tatman or Nick Merckx or somebody like that, like that's a lot of people at that point. That's a lot of viewers gone. And so them taking this seriously and, you know, kind of offering those same contracts but to stay, I think is a really good idea. And I think it, like they were saying before, it's another thing to shoot towards as a streamer.
Yeah, that's a really cool point too, because I think sometimes we talk about like partnership as the end goal of streaming, but really for a lot of people, once you hit partnership, there's a lot more room to go beyond that, right? I mean, that's only 75 viewers, and if you look at some of the top dogs on Twitch, they're way above that mark.
Right.
So I think it is cool to have like this other sort of mark you can hit as a top tier streamer. It makes a lot of sense. And actually, you guys talked about basically this being the effect of Ninja's move, which we're also going to talk about here, because there was an article that came out with Jess Blevins, who's Ninja's wife and manager, talking about some of the reasons why he moved to Mixer more than just money, which I'll link in the chat if you guys want to check that out. Some of the highlights of that article were, again, you heard him kind of talk about hitting the reset button from streaming, which she kind of explained a bit more in terms of, I guess there was a lot of toxicity in his chat on Twitch, which I definitely had seen. And oftentimes I'd see him go into like emote only mode because of that, I think. And so that was one of the reasons that she cited, being able to have a new chat and get away from some of those toxic people. But then also, which I think was the bigger deal, is they claimed that Twitch was blocking licensing deals. So you guys might have seen him come out with the Adidas deal very quickly after his move to Mixer. This sort of implies that maybe Twitch is trying to block his deal with Adidas or something, or other similar deals, which is confusing. Again, the problem is we don't really have exact, like we don't have emails or details. We just have this claim from Jess. But it's kind of interesting. And then the last bit I thought was interesting was that this happened really quickly, apparently. So while they had been negotiating with Twitch for months in terms of the brand licensing deals to no success, he moved very quickly to Mixer within weeks after getting contacted by Microsoft, or however that process went down. And it was a pretty quick decision. So what do you guys think about here in this article? Do you think this adds anything really interesting, or is it still kind of too vague in your opinion? MPI, what do you think?
I'd be curious why Twitch wanted to block those deals. If that's true. Like you said, we don't have both sides of the story at this point. But what do they gain from him not repping Adidas? It's not like, you know, Twitch owns Nike or something. So what's the harm there? I don't really get it. And like we were saying, the toxicity, reading in the article, even says like the last few months I could tell he didn't seem like himself both on and off stream. So to me it's just like any other job. If you're not happy with what you're doing, it's time to start looking around. And as you know, obviously a full-time content creator like he is, you had Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, or Facebook, and I couldn't see him going to Facebook. So YouTube or Mixer were your two other options.
Yeah, I think that line was tough to say. I mean, because that one seemed very much like an opinion thing, or something that could be an excuse, right? Like, oh, I wasn't like in level streaming anymore. Like, that's tough to validate as much as just like hearing someone say that. Vel, what are your thoughts on this?
Her statement's kind of like, it just kind of gave me more questions, to be honest. I mean, it is cool for her to come out and say that it wasn't anything financially, like their decision was not on like based on money, and I do like that. And you do have to agree that, you know, they did have a very toxic community. You can see it in their chat, and they also had like huge movements of like, don't sub to Ninja anymore, he's made enough money. Like, that would suck. That, like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, you're gonna tell like Bill Gates, like back when he was running Microsoft, that you're just gonna stop buying Microsoft because he's made too much money? Like, that's insane. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like that kind of stuff. I 100% agree with. You have to get away from that. And I'm hoping that he has on his switch to Mixer. But but I think it just kind of opened up more questions for everybody, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is it's just this interview from this site that it's tough to validate anything, and it is just sort of their side. I think the brand licensing deals is an interesting point, like MPI said. Like it's unclear whether maybe Twitch wanted a share of the deal or something since he was on their platform and they wanted to be involved in it, or if maybe they had like advertisers who were competing with some of their licensing deals. It's really kind of tough to say there. But Sadomi, what do you think about all this?
I definitely think Twitch kind of saw Ninja as like, we created you, so we
We own
so
you.
we have power over, kind of sort of in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was definitely a good wake up call for Ninja to move, because Twitch kind of like, okay, people have options technically now. Although Ninja is an exception because he's transcended gaming, which I think if he is doing, I think he's going to do, he's going to get away from gaming after like 3 or 4 more years, like completely no gaming whatsoever. Yeah, because I'll be honest, it'd be stupid to stay in gaming because it's not really, it's still technically, even though it's super popular, it's still kind of a niche market, and it's not really something you can.
I mean, do you think he'll get completely away from gaming, or just like kind of make it a smaller part of everything he does?
I think it'll be completely away,
Wow.
because there's way more opportunity out there. I've seen a lot of other YouTubers and old gaming people. Like, if you notice, they all kind of branch away from gaming. They still kind of do it, to kind of be like, hey, yeah, I still do game stuff. But like, you look at PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, they all do so much different stuff now too.
Yeah,
and when you think about it, why branch into more markets? Why not?
they all still incorporate gaming in some sense, though. Most of them. I'm not really familiar with Markiplier very well, but I know PewDiePie just had the whole Minecraft resurgence, so he's still doing some of that.
I know Markiplier does because I still watch some of his videos. He does a lot of horror games, and he's really funny with horror games. And I love watching people get scared at horror games, so I still watch those. But he's branched out to a lot of things. He just put out a podcast that the whole thing is, it's like an audio show, and it's got, you're following people in the beginning of a post-apocalyptic world.
So it's like a
which
story.
I thought was really interesting. Yeah, it's almost like short audio books that you listen to weekly.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I think, though, I personally feel like Ninja has to keep some aspect of gaming because that's sort of what he built his brand on. Right. And I definitely think he will move into other things. I mean, we're already seeing that with like the Times Square stuff and brand deals and even YouTube side of things. But I don't think he can really get fully away from gaming because it's so a huge part of his brand at this point.
Yeah, but how many people have you seen, like, the main gamers, like the big ones who started gaming, have been on Good Morning America, have done New Year's Eve? Like, those are eyes that probably had no idea he did anything with gaming. And then once you're that popular, other, like, you take other deals, other things that go outside of game, because Adidas has money, which is money too, but you got Adidas money. I mean, wear shoes all over the world.
I agree, but like, why are brands like Adidas working with him in the first place? It's because of his gaming stuff, you know? So if he stops gaming, why does anyone care about Ninja other than being popular?
Yeah, I think they would be using that to try to branch into that gaming market.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, most people that, play video games might not be buying thousands of dollars of athletic gear every year, but if Ninja starts wearing it, I bet these kids will love an Adidas jacket.
Right.
So
I feel like it's definitely mutual in that regard. So it'll be kind of, he's branching out and they'll be branching in. Kind of like an arm in arm kind of thing, pulling each other.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that he'll move beyond gaming. I think that's the smart thing, and I kind of hope that Twitch as a whole does that too. But I don't think he can ever fully get away from it, really. Anyway, that's sort of like a deviation from the core topic here. Moving on through some of the other news here, one of the big things that we kind of found at the last minute here was StreamElements put out their own report, which, side note, I think is kind of their own response to StreamElements report that they put out every quarter. So now StreamElements is doing that too. They partnered with a company called Arsenal, which I looked into them. I can't remember. It's like Stream Data or something. But in any case, the data that came out was really interesting. So notably from August to September, in the past 2 months, all streaming platforms went down except for Facebook. Facebook was the only one to grow from August to September. And actually, Facebook just passed Mixer in terms of hours watched in the last quarter. So that was kind of interesting. And some other notices there. Twitch is still growing, and it doesn't seem like the ninja move has really made that much of a deal for Mixer because Twitch is growing faster than Mixer is still. So you guys can see the full report in the chat, which I think I linked. Did I put that there? Yeah, I did. So if you want to see the full data, it's over there. Really quickly though, you guys have any thoughts on some of these numbers that got pulled up? Vel?
I think it's crazy that Facebook gaming is making a leap. You know what I mean? Like, because I haven't heard from a single streamer aside from Fwasi, he's a Facebook streamer. I haven't heard anybody ever talk about Facebook gaming in a serious way at all. It's always, YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and that's pretty much it. DLive is kind of a joke, and I thought Facebook was kind of a joke, to be honest, until that report came out. And it's crazy to see these trends, and like nobody even saw this coming. You know what I mean? Like, what's the next thing to happen to catch us off guard? Like, is DLive going to make a huge jump or something? It's just cool seeing those stats though. And it's weird that Mixer isn't doing any better really. With Ninja there, that kind of sucks, to be honest. Like, obviously that's a huge move for them, and it's probably was really expensive, and so to not see any real profit or growth out of that has got to be kind of a kick to the groin.
Yeah, that was the biggest surprise for me too, because I remember when we covered the last quarter, Mixer had grown a lot where Twitch had fell, but now Mixer is falling in this quarter, which I was surprised to see. I would have thought they were already on track to grow, and then they added Ninja, so you would think they would keep growing, but actually the hours watched went down, which is pretty interesting. Right. Sadomi, you have thoughts on this?
So this report was for what month? September, or for the quarter?
It's for July, August, and September. They give you total hours watched across all three. So most platforms went up from July to August, and then down from August to September.
I mean, the August-September one's pretty easy. Raise your hand if you're in school. Exactly. Yeah, it's always going to drop between August and September. That's when school starts. So people are going to school, and Fortnite is a majority younger audience, people who are in school. So it kind of makes sense that would drop then. If that dropped, I wouldn't even bat an eye. I'd be like, okay, yeah, that happens. I'm sure everyone's numbers drops, or you see let's say your younger viewers around during the August to October part. November they start saving school, so it comes back up a little bit. But but yeah, so that part I'm not worried about. Mixer's numbers are going up as a whole. Even when I'm being on Mixer, because I currently stream the both, I do notice a lot less traction on Mixer. But again, I attribute that to the same thing I think is going to happen with why Twitch is still growing more than Mixer too, is kind of a snowball effect still. And with Facebook too, actually. Facebook's actually a good example of that. You have so many people on Facebook that you're going to generate more clicks just from number of population, strictly from that, versus for instance, I have 2,000 followers on Twitch. I have 150 on Mixer. Of course, I'm gonna get more people coming in through Twitch than Mixer, and also like I said, with Facebook, it's millions of people on Facebook, and not really millions and millions of people on Mixer. So kind of when we look at the platform itself, because Mixer is strictly a streaming platform, Facebook isn't. So Facebook has all of the people who have different sources of links. So someone could have just posted a link, and grandma's like, "Oh, click to see what it is. Yeah. What is this?" And click out of it. And that counts as a view. Technically. So
yeah, I think that's actually one huge thing with Facebook is there's so many people on that platform, and I don't think a lot of them even know that streaming is a thing on that platform yet. So it sounds like Facebook is getting better at figuring out how to educate people about their streaming side of things, which is actually their growth was pretty huge. I mean, they had 32 million hours watched in July and 53 million in September. So that's getting close to double as much growth over the last couple months, which is crazy. And we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if it keeps blowing up like that. But MPI, what are your quick thoughts on this?
Yeah, I kind of think, like Veli and Sadomi both said, not seeing Mixer grow is rough, because I think we all want to see Mixer grow. I don't think there's anyone out there that's like, man, screw Mixer. I hate that place. I'm like, I want to see it grow because that's competition. And everything I've seen from the Mixer community has always been pretty positive. So seeing a good positive place grow is good, especially after they just, had Ninja come over and sign a contract. So that they're trying to make moves too. They're not just in it for fun. I'm curious with the YouTube one, is that only gaming or is that streaming overall? Because I see a lot of streaming on YouTube that is more podcast focused, or PC building is big there, or a lot of just chatting, almost vlog style streams are big there.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't really specify on the graph whether it just says YouTube, doesn't say gaming, where it does say Facebook gaming. So
Right.
it may just be all streaming.
Okay, because I'd be curious to see how that would change that. But also with Facebook gaming, I don't have it to source it exactly, but I remember reading an article or a Reddit post that Facebook is in a lot of countries where Twitch and Amazon might not be, but Facebook is also working with some of these other countries' governments and telecom providers to have available internet to people.
Hmm.
So they have basically free access to Facebook where they would have to pay for the data to go to Twitch. So if you can go watch it for free versus pay for it, people are going to do it for free.
Interesting. Yeah, I think we can't really discount like how global
Right.
Facebook is and how, I mean, we were talking about before the show how everybody is Facebook and it's sort of become like the older demographic of social media now. But I mean, that kind of proves how powerful it is because there's so many people on Facebook, even in the older generations. So
Yeah, other things
it's interesting to see Facebook gaming go up right now too. The only person I've ever seen other than Fwasty that has talked a lot about Facebook gaming is a streamer, Green Skull. He is really big in the Halo community. So he's not ninja level by any means, but he's pretty popular within the Halo community and kind of the Gears of War community. He's been on all the platforms at this point with exclusivity deals of some kind. And he was the first big name I saw get one on Facebook. He's already back on Mixer. So I'm curious why. He didn't really talk about it. I don't know if it was just like a 6-month contract maybe, or if it was just, hey man, this platform is not working out for me.
it could be. So Palace in the chat specified it was for YouTube gaming specifically.
Okay.
They followed that up. So anyway, though,
to think about though, like just real quick, is like the amount of people that switched to Mixer after Ninja did. Like we all know a crap ton of streamers that have switched over to Mixer, and it's weird to see like those numbers not even stay the same over there. Like to actually go down with the amount of like not even just Ninja, but like there's so many streamers that have switched over. Like it's weird to see that, you know, like you have all these streamers that have communities behind them and everything, but clearly something isn't working out for Mixer.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what
I would say on that point, like, yes, I saw a lot of people jump over to Mixer when Ninja
Right.
did, but I saw a lot of those people jump back to Twitch already too. In that
I
time.
still see a bunch of people on Mixer though. Like there's still, like even partners and stuff like that have switched over. It's interesting. It's just a weird.
Yeah, it could be
situation.
Some of the issues with Mixer too are some of the channels, like the Monster Cat channel, is just a 24/7 music channel, or I think like famously the Forza stuff was really kind of trendy over there, where you could earn in-game stuff on Forza by just leaving the stream open. So if that promotion went away, I mean that could be a big dent in viewership numbers, just from kind of passive viewing. So,
I wonder too if it's a lot of people jumped ship when Mixer brought Ninja over, and they thought, oh well, it's a smaller platform, I'll hit growth faster, and then they went, oh, there's a lot less people here. Discoverability is actually a lot lower because there's a lot less people, and they were someone who wanted immediate gratification because they switched, and they went, oh, I have to start from scratch. Never mind, that sounds hard, and went back.
Right. I feel like that's most of the people that switch to Mixer. Not all of them, obviously, but that's a large portion is people who, you know, they just want viewers.
Yeah, they thought that was going to be their quick, quick in for the $1 million in streaming, and it was obviously not going to be.
Right. Nothing's going to be that.
All right, so moving on here. Speaking of Mixer, last little big news here is the Mixer co-founder actually left Mixer this week. Suit James, I'll post his tweet here. It sounds like he's just going on to be more of an investor in other gaming companies now. He mentioned Gamer Goo, which is like this stuff you put on your hands so that your hands don't get all sweaty. It doesn't sound like there's any sort of fallout or anything with the company, so that was good. But some people saw this and were kind of alarmed, thinking that, uh-oh, founder's leaving Mixer. That's not a good sign. Any quick thoughts on this one, guys? Sadomi?
Man's going for the bag. It's cool.
Simple as that. Gotcha.
Increase your career, move forward. Like once you do something, like Mixers on your resume, cool, good.
Yeah,
next project, what's up?
I didn't see it as a big issue, honestly. Obviously, if Microsoft bought Mixer, then there's some money to be made there. So I don't blame him for trying to move on to some other venture capitalist stuff. Any other thoughts quickly on this one? It's kind of a quick topic.
I mean, it might raise some questions. I would think that the only thing that Mixer can do to just like solidify that there's no issues going on is to make, a pretty big announcement kind of soon after him dropping out. Like, hopefully they have something up their sleeves to announce. Because I mean, if I was streaming on Mixer, I'd be a little worried, like just a tad. But
yeah. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. So there was some small things as well this week. First of all, I don't really know if this is confirmed, but apparently during one of the TwitchCon panels, one of the developers confirmed that if you're raiding into another channel, you should not be seeing ads, which is interesting because that's been a huge problem for pretty much everyone. And it sounded like in the panel, everyone in the room said, well, that's happening to me too. So again, the problem here though is I don't know if this will be fixed. I'm also confused because this sounded like something that was going to get changed with the ad updates, but now it sounds like it shouldn't have been a thing in the first place. So just keep an eye on that. We might see ads go away from raids, which would be awesome because that's a huge issue. Also, small thing, you can no longer comment on VODs starting on November 12th, which I personally think is a very good change because I always get those notifications that someone left a comment on a VOD, and it's always just someone who's confused about why the stream isn't live. So I think that's a good change. There's a Twitch app on Apple TV now. That's pretty cool. And then I don't know if I want to talk about this one, but Vel kind of brought it up, so I thought I'd mention it. There was a streamer who got banned permanently for self-harm after he smashed a keyboard on his head. And so that brought up some kind of controversy. Vel, do you want to touch on that one at all?
Yeah, it was just weird because it's not like I didn't see the video, so I don't know like if he like grabbed a monitor and just wailed himself with it or whatever.
He did.
The way that he described it made it look like he just kind of like did this or whatever.
No.
So if it was the other one, like that's a big deal. But like I heard that he's also done this a lot in the past.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really been too much of an issue. Like he's got a couple other bands like a couple years ago, but from what I hear is he continues breaking keyboards. You know what I mean? Like it's just a thing that he does, and for him to just be banned, especially permanently, is interesting.
There were some issues there in terms of the fact that he'd done it before on stream and not gotten in any sort of issues.
Right.
He did make some weird claims where he was saying, I've bought thousands of these keyboards and smashed them hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Which seems like a little bit of an overstatement to me, but maybe, unless he does it every single stream. MPI, what were you saying?
We talked about it a little bit on True Talk, so kind of the same thing. Like he smashed his face with that keyboard.
No, he went very hard with the keyboard.
But yeah, he's like, I buy all these because they're cheap and I can do this. That is an interesting thing to do, but okay, whatever. I guess he also lost his partnership back in the day for it was either a racial thing or a sexist comment. So they dropped it. They canceled his partnership. I could see it being like a knee-jerk reaction for a ban if someone reported it as self-harm, which that's completely opposite of how you should handle someone self-harming on the internet, but that's okay. But I could see it being maybe if that's how Twitch's system works, it gets put in, somebody reports it, they immediately shut down that channel and try to get in touch with that person to be like, hey, are you okay? And try to help the situation. But if it's permanently, and he's had people, staff in his chat before, and they're like, there's nothing I can do about it. So it's weird. Why did it happen now? Or was it just someone who was, I'm tired of seeing this guy do this?
It could have been a report for sure that triggered that, especially because that's a very sensitive topic. I mean, if Twitch suspects there's any self-harm going on, I understand why they'd want to flag that immediately and get it off the platform.
And then figure out what's actually going on. And once they realize, it's just
better safe
he
than
does
sorry,
this,
sort of.
once a week. That's just part of his content. Okay, cool, you're fine, dude.
But why this? Like, why didn't he get permanent banned for the potentially sexist or racist thing he said in the past? You know what I mean? Like that. Like that. I feel like is way more permaban worthy than like buying a cheap keyboard and breaking it over your head. You know what I mean? Like that's like obviously that you probably shouldn't do that either, but you know what I mean? I think that, when it comes to being hateful towards any group of people, like that's where like just you're done. Like get out. Like, we don't need you or anything, but we'll ban him He'll come back, he'll break a keyboard on his head, then we'll permaban him because that's
Yeah.
how things work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see both sides of the argument for sure. Like the permaban seems a little excessive, especially since it's automated. You'd think there'd be like a 7-day or 14-day. Usually Twitch is a process where they'll do an increasingly long ban, but this seems like a jump straight to permanent, which is a little odd. But like I also see how, I mean, you probably shouldn't be doing that stuff on the stream. And I know I saw the GIF you're talking about, though, where he was demonstrating basically how easy the keyboards are to break. But that was just him after the fact explaining that, as opposed to when he actually did the thing on stream, like MPI said. I mean, he was going hard at this thing, like smacking his desk, and
maybe he's got a
picked it up,
superpower,
turned it
really tough
vertical,
forehead.
Yeah,
full on headbutted this thing.
yeah.
You know?
Which I feel like that deserves some sort of
Award.
discussion from Twitch, an award. But I think jumping to permanent ban is a little excessive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if that's considered self-harm, what do you consider wrestling?
Well, I mean, it's not self-harm if you're doing wrestling.
Have you seen wrestling?
I mean, do you self-wrestle?
Yes.
It's literally defined as, that's actually defined as self-harm. That is causing harm to yourself. You're tossing yourself off of turnbuckles, tossing yourself into tables, getting slammed into a canvas repeatedly.
Yeah,
of your
by
own
someone
volition.
else.
So violence against someone else technically is, I mean, it's still a stage. I know it's still a stage. I know.
Yeah. I mean, this is a totally different topic because it's like it's an event as opposed to just like a reaction to something.
Well, if he does it on his stream as part of the performance, and that's the argument I'm making. Because if it's part of his performance, which streaming it is a performance, it's part of his act.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, is that banned like violence part of an act? Because so then wrestling's be banned as well. No, I don't want them to be. I'm just saying I'd rather have consistency with the rules and have that be like static together.
Yeah, that's really the issue overall, though, is rule discrepancies, right?
Yeah, we're always coming back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Anything I missed here in chat? There's a lot of comments about something he did on purpose. Like, you know, he does that all the time. That's the issue we were talking about, too. The fact that he'd done this many times before, and for some reason that wasn't an issue, but now it is. That has been a constant issue with Twitch, you know, whether it's double standards or I heard also some reports this week of streamers who got DMCA'd from like a clip that was 3 years old or something, which is interesting. So that has been an issue in the past as well. But those were all the big topics this week. Is there anything that you guys saw that I missed by chance that you think is worth mentioning? Not too much. Cool. All right, so let's get into the viewer calls and chats.
There it is.
Words. I did see another topic in the Discord. Let me pull that up really quickly. From Andy Turbo X. He said, I've been away from streaming for about 6 months, and I'm working on things to get ready for a relaunch for myself. I still have my affiliate status from before with a couple of emote slots that I want to utilize for my relaunch/rebrand. I designed all of my artwork, and I'm stumped on what new emotes I should start with. Are there any basic emote designs that would be good to start with, such as some sort of heart emote, and I can add newer ones later based around inside jokes? Gotcha. So we talked about this a little bit in the past. Like, you've just got an affiliate. You know that you need to get some stuff going, but it might take a little while. Should you put something up in the meantime? I'll throw this to Vel first.
Okay. I think with emotes, especially if you don't have any like inside jokes yet with your community, do things that people will want just to have that emote, even if they don't even like watch your streams. Like, have emotes that people will want to sub to you just to get those, and they might not ever watch you ever again, but they'll still continue the sub. You know what I mean? That way, like, if those people enjoy your emotes, your community is really gonna enjoy those emotes. Like I have the an emote of my face with no nose and I'm smiling. It's a ripoff of a Tim the Tatman emote that I used to love. I don't know if he has it still. But try to like make emotes that are widely usable, and like, you know, like you could do a heart, but everybody's got a heart emote. Like, try to do something a little bit different. Try to do something that you can use everywhere, and people, you know, like, just do something that's worth getting excited about, not just a standard hey or, you know, dab emote or whatever. Like, dab emotes are cool, but a lot of people have those. I even have one.
Yep.
But, you know, like, try to do something different with it and try to make people laugh.
Yeah, something different that'll make you stand out when someone sees that in a chat, right? Gotcha. MPI, what are your thoughts on this?
I think if it's something that can help you stand out, it's good. Or I think things that are really useful are different ones of like a way to say hi when you get into a chat.
Mm-hmm.
People will just spam different ways to say hi when they get to the chat for the first time instead of just saying hey. So that will, again, either be something where people will sub to you just to have that, or they'll use it because they like you and they like that emote, and they'll that shows it to other people.
Mm.
You said you're coming back with a rebrand. Do you have any, if you have any ideas of how you're already going to brand it, try to brand the emotes around that. So like I have one that it's my rip emote and it's a broken coffee cup because I drink coffee all the time. So if you're coming back and already know what you're going to do with your branding, try to maybe start making them around that already. So if it's all of your brand is cats, make them all cats or dogs or whatever it is. Try to go ahead and get that branding in there, and that way it's already started. You don't have to worry about trying to explain things.
Gotcha. Just sort of start the process and evolve on it over time.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, Demi, what are your thoughts on emotes?
So emotes, as y'all probably know about me, I'm not really too big on emotes, but what I will say about emotes is you can always change them later. So you have a good idea for them, you can always just like shelve it. And if you need to, I know it's kind of difficult with Twitch, kind of how they like go through the process of having to resubmit them. Yeah. Rotating them out. If one gets old, you see one getting used, rotate it out. Try a different one. Right now I have my thinking one, my lull one, and my fist one. I might rotate my fist one out because no one uses that. I think it's kind of dumb. I kind of use it just for the moment. But yeah, once you find the ones you like, you'll like them. And as any artist or any creative person does, you're gonna hate your emotes with the first ones you made. You're gonna hate the second ones you made. You're gonna hate the third ones you made until you find a few that you like and you love, and you'll hate those eventually as well. It makes some new ones.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think testing out emotes is a really cool thing to do. If you're kind of waiting for, like, if you're either waiting for your emotes to get made by an artist or you're just not sure what to do, I think having placeholder emotes is a really good idea because you can kind of test them. And sometimes people end up loving the placeholder emotes a lot, and you just found an emote for free basically. So that's always a win. But it also just lets you test stuff and see, like, maybe this idea is working well and you can make a better version of that emote. So I think having placeholder stuff works. Although I think turnaround times have been kind of slow lately, it seems like. Have you guys seen that happening too? Yeah, so Twitch is taking a longer time to approve emotes for some reason. But I don't think it really hurts to still put something out there in the meantime, because that always kind of changes based on how busy they are, I guess. So hopefully that helps you, man. Thank you for the question. Again, that was from Andy Turbo X. And let us know how the rebrand stuff goes, man. Okay, so reading through the questions here in chat, guys, feel free to keep asking questions in chat since we don't have calls today. We have a decent bit of stuff to go through here. Nagatalock said, this just occurred to me after downloading the Apple TV app and seeing it's a good 10 seconds behind desktop. Do you all feel that mobile use would surge if Twitch was able to close the gap between the desktop and mobile experience? Okay, so kind of two questions there. One, do you think that the mobile experience is worse than desktop for Twitch? And then, if so, do you think that Twitch can make some big improvements there? I'll throw this to Sadomi first.
So I never use Twitch mobile. If I have to use mobile, I just don't watch Twitch. Because I'll be honest, I cannot stand ads when I'm watching content and the content isn't paused. That triggers me. So until there is an alternate Twitch app that will let me use an ad blocker to not get ads at all, I will not use the And also with the delay too, I've noticed it is a lot more delayed than desktop. And even that's why I switched to Mixer originally, because that lack of delay was a game changer for me.
Do they have that on the mobile app as well?
For
Mixer?
I don't know. I don't use the Mixer mobile app because when I used it, it was last time I used it, it was oh.
Gotcha.
So yeah, personally, I think mobile will also, one thing about live streams too, I'm not sure this is just me, but data usage is I'm not trying to use a gig of data to watch a stream that's not that interesting as background noise.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And I think there are still a lot of people who watch mobile on Wi-Fi, whether they don't have access to a good PC or something, or it's just easier to kind of pull it out and watch something really quick. But I definitely think the mobile experience could be improved. I forgot to mention, by the way, I think there was an update to the mobile app this week, at least on Android. That's what I have. I don't know if iPhone users got it as well. But it basically is just all the rebranding that you saw go out from TwitchCon is now on the mobile app, so that was kind of cool. I didn't see a lot of big differences with the actual app, other than the only thing I saw was if you're watching a stream in was it landscape mode, and you pull up the chat, it'll now move the video to the left of the chat instead of overlaying the chat on top of the video. That's a small change I actually thought was really cool. So, but in terms of other mobile app stuff, MPI, do you have thoughts?
I mean, I think right now, I don't think a lot of people are choosing to use mobile over desktop if they have the option. I think that's their only option, or they're out and about. So like if you're, at the doctor's office waiting, if you're at school and you're in between classes, you're maybe watching on your phone. But if you're at home, I don't see a lot of people saying, yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it on my phone rather than my desktop or my laptop. So I don't know that making the app better is going to change a lot of the usage. I think it should be better, and I don't think it should be 10 seconds behind what the desktop version is, since at that point, why are you watching it and in chat? Because you can't chat with people to keep up with it. The only time that I've ever even used the mobile app is either if I'm away from home and wanted to see, like during the charity stream, I would pull it up to keep up with what was going on when I wasn't home. Or if I know there's a special event going on that I want to keep up with, I'll pull it up to check on things. Or if I know I'm going to watch something like a podcast or something that isn't as interactive, and say I'm maybe, like cleaning in the kitchen, I'll have it on my phone, or I'll Chromecast it to my TV in the living room. But 99% of the time, I would always want to watch it on desktop.
Yeah.
The point of Twitch for me is to be able to chat and watch at the same time, which doesn't work well on mobile because it's behind. And also, every time you leave the app, it disconnects and reconnects you to chat. So you miss a ton of chat, and you're waiting 5 to 10 seconds for it to even connect you to chat. So it's like, what's the point?
Are there any improvements you want to see in the app, or do you think it's just always not going to be as good as desktop?
I mean, I think if they can improve it to where it's maybe a second behind the desktop at the most, I think it would be fine, and chat not completely disconnecting every time. Because it takes so long to reconnect that you miss so much of chat, even if you're watching the stream that's already behind. So I think if they can just make it to where it's in time with desktop for chat and the video itself, it could be better.
Yeah, the delay.
But it's still kind of the same way. I mean, unless I'm not home, I'm probably not using it.
Right, I gotcha. Vel, what are your thoughts on the mobile app? Any improvements you'd like to see, or what do you think about it?
So on the mobile app and on console, you can't watch when Tim the Tatman streams a football game. You can't watch those on mobile or console, which I think is stupid.
Really?
Because it's the weirdest thing.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
On mobile, it says your device is not eligible for this premium content or something like that. On console, it just shows Tim the Tatman as being offline when he does that.
That's funny.
It's really stupid, because I want to watch the game with Tim the Tatman in his community. I think that's a lot of fun, but in order to do that, I'd have to go sit in my office and watch on the desktop, as opposed to sitting on the couch and watching a football game like I would normally
most people
do. Yeah, most people do.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest improvement, aside from everything that's already been stated. I don't want to just say the same thing, because I do agree with everything. The delay is annoying. Watching on the mobile app is just horrible. Even when you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can't always, even if you have good internet and you're connected to Wi-Fi, there's still stream buffering on the mobile app. That's really annoying and kind of triggering. But I think it just needs a huge revamp. And watching the NFL games on mobile or console would be a huge plus to me, to be honest. I would love that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know about the football games. It's pretty interesting. I think one thing for me with the mobile app is advertising. I think is even worse on mobile app, because if you're on your phone and you get a 30-second ad trying to watch a stream, the attention span of people on their phones is very short, as if it weren't short enough on desktop. And on desktop, if you get a 30-second ad, you can look at another browser or something for a second, or look at Discord. But on a phone, I mean, that's your whole screen. You gotta tab out of there, and then if you're waiting 30 seconds, you probably forgot about what you're watching anyway. So I think getting a 30-second pre-roll is really tough to get around on the mobile side, which I hope they will revamp with the ads updates. We'll see how that happens. I actually do kind of use the mobile app a decent bit. I think kind of like MPI said, but especially like if I'm going around the house and doing something, like maybe I'm cooking or cleaning, like sometimes I'll just put it on and listen to the stream. That can be pretty cool. One thing I've also been doing lately is listen to like the audio only version of like an esports game or something. If I'm driving, I'll do that, which is kind of cool. But I do think overall, like the delay and the ads make it a worse experience. And I don't know that it'll really ever get up to desktop level, to be honest. I just kind of feel like that's how Twitch is meant to be experienced. So I agree they can make some updates, but I think desktop is really always going to kind of be their big player for most of the time. So although console could be kind of cool too. I really have not used the Twitch console app that much, but I know it's a big factor for like Mixer on Xbox, so there could definitely be some improvements made there probably.
I think another thing too that throws people off from the mobile app, if it's not their only option, is if you want to sub or buy bits, it costs more because they're splitting it with the platform. So like with Android, they're splitting it with the Google Play, and with iOS, they're splitting it with the App Store. So that's why your subs instead of are $4.99 or $5.99 on mobile.
Absolutely.
So that takes people away from it too, because they're like, I'm not paying an extra $1.
Right.
Wait, I wouldn't either. That's $1.
Well, I mean, I think you can still enjoy the viewing experience though, even if you're not a sub. So
I know a lot of people will, or if they want to give bits, they're like, well, I can't. Sorry, I'm on mobile.
Yeah, you might see like a decent revenue increase if they kind of. I mean, I don't know if they can really get around that. That's the problem because it's so built into the platform, right? Especially with iOS. That I mean,
they would have to take $1 hit and make the subs cost $3.99 on mobile, but then it's $4.99 because of the split.
And they're not going to do that because they're not going to like specify which kind of sub you got for, like, let's say you only got a $2 cut instead of $2.50 on subs because they were iOS subs. That's just going to be so confusing for people. Right. So
and then everyone will just go to mobile and sub because
it's cheaper.
It costs the same thing, and
that's so dumb.
Yeah. All right. So moving on here. So British Avengers question they didn't get to answer or to ask on the show. Sorry about that, British. He said, I've been doing PG streams for a week. I want to know, does it matter if your teammates are swearing and the chat can hear it? And so I guess if you're trying to be a PG streamer, is it damaging to your brand is what I'm hearing. If your teammates are swearing or whoever else in your stream, but you're not. What do you guys think about this? Vel?
All right, you throw it to the guy who probably swears the most here. So I will say that as somebody who swears a lot, if I'm playing with someone who I know doesn't swear a lot, I'll try to kind of be chill about it. I'll try to some will slip out. I can't guarantee a thing because that's just who I've tried to not swear and it usually doesn't work. I try really hard on this podcast, but as a streamer who swears a lot, when I stream with people who don't swear, I try to keep it cool. You know what I mean? Because I definitely think that it affects your branding. Especially when you're like when you're still like a smaller streamer, like anything, like every view counts. And so if people know you as family friendly and like they hear me come in and I drop F-bombs every other word, like they're probably not going to watch that day, which really sucks because that's a very important view for you and your stream. So I think it definitely does hurt your brand if you play with people who do swear. So I think maybe try to like talk to them like, hey, maybe for the day you just try to, relax a little bit and we'll just have some fun and not take anything too seriously. You don't swear and we're all good,
Vel, you're going to get a DM like that after the show today, I'm pretty sure.
That's fine.
No, I think you can't really argue that it definitely damages your brand if that's what you're going for. I mean, you think back to Ninja stuff back in the day when he was starting to make that transition and he was kind of infamous for not playing with certain streamers because they would either have profanity issues or there was also the female streamer stuff, kind of unrelated, but that was a decision he made to kind of preserve his brand in the direction he wanted to go. So there's definitely precedent for it. I don't think there's a lot to argue on this topic, but MPI, do you guys like identify your streams as PG? Maybe MPI? No. Okay.
No.
Well, do you see the value in doing that maybe?
I can definitely see there being a value in doing it because there's either a lot of people who they know their kids are into video games and they want them to be able to watch Twitch and they don't want, little Timmy who's 10 years old and likes Fortnite to hear, just a huge thing of curse words every time somebody dies. So I don't think it's not good or bad to do either one. Make whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing either all of your streams are always going to be PG or, family friendly, everything about it needs to stay that way. So if you're playing with people who curse a lot, you need to tell them either you can't do that tonight or I'm sorry, I can't have you on the stream. It's
Right.
It's a conflict of interest at that point. Where on the other end of the spectrum, if you're loud and curse a lot, you can tell your friends, if you're not completely against cursing, if you want to, bump it up a little bit for some comedy, you can. So that way it's kind of, you can play to both.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of people who do specifically like Wednesdays are always PG streams. Wednesday nights, every Wednesday is PG night and anybody can come and watch. Thursday, though, all bets are off. So, be warned.
Yeah. I mean, some streamers have done
Timmy
that.
might get some colorful stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know very well. Ninja did like the After Dark thing. Did he curse during those streams? Anybody know? I don't actually know, but
I don't know.
I don't think
Somebody
he
here
did,
has
but I think he didn't mind if his guest did.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, or if like maybe content got to be a little bit more crude, it was
Mhm.
okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
I
So
think-
Domi, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No.
I just think if that's what you want to do, make sure that those people know that and you stick to it. Don't
Mhm.
let a good friend slide because Veli just cusses a lot. No, they need to know like this is PG night or all of our streams are PG and I'm going to start taking a hit in viewership because you can't control your language.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a tough decision to make, but like if you think that's where your channel has to go in terms of branding, then you might need to stop playing with that person, even if they're not going to respect like your ask to cut down on the swearing, or that's just a tough thing to go through. Sadomi, you have thoughts on PG streaming?
So if you're doing a PG stream, you have to view your actually this in general, view your stream as a TV show. If a TV show is rated TV PG, it doesn't matter who is on the show. You can have Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy, and freaking Lisa Lampanelli on your stream. If it's G rated, it's G rated. It doesn't matter who's on it, it's G rated. So you stick to that. Now if it's R rated, you can have Elmo and Big Bird doing things I can't say on this channel all you want. But again, it's whatever you rate your stream, it should stay that no matter who is on it or what or where.
Simple as that. I think also worth mentioning is brand deals as a PG streamer, because it's kind of like we talked about earlier. I think so. I don't watch Nick Merckx at all, I'll be honest, but from what I've read, he is kind of in that PG streamer category with Ninja, which I assume means he does not swear. And he just happened to pick up this contract deal with Twitch, the very first one. So I think there is growing evidence of PG streamers being better to work with for brands in terms of the platform, but also external things. I mean, I think that's probably a big reason why Ninja was able to secure a bunch of these deals as well, is because sponsoring a PG streamer is a lot easier for a brand than someone who's going to be more risky. You've even heard actually some famous streamers talked about as a brand risk because of their content. Like XQC, there was a clip of him talking about how he wasn't able to work with certain brands because he was too risky. So I think that is worth thinking about if you're looking to go full time with your content or want to work with brands.
Right. I think that there's actually going to be an increase of the amount of family-friendly streamers coming up with the Ninja being recognized as much as he has been being family-friendly. Nick Merckx as well. Who is it? Nick A30, who got picked up from YouTube and is now on Twitch as a family-friendly streamer. I think there's going to be a huge surge of family-friendly streams, and people are going to start converting to that. And I think it's going to take maybe a couple more years, maybe even longer, before Twitch and all these brands start realizing that generally people don't care about swearing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to be a while before anybody who swears a lot is going to be able to get the same publicity and everything as these streamers do right now.
Yeah.
But that's just because it's safe to pick somebody who doesn't swear. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just because you swear doesn't mean you say hateful or hurtful things. You just you use a sentence enhancer every once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a SpongeBob quote. But I think in a few years, brands are going to start realizing, that streamers that swear a lot, it's not the biggest deal, and there's still something to be done there with those streamers. It's not as big of a risk as what they think it is.
Mm-hmm. I think there are some brands out there that are okay with working with those streamers too. You'll see some one-off sponsorships. I think of Cash App. There's a lot of podcasts of people who are not afraid to swear very actively. And there are brands that like to be part of that kind of edgier, or I guess more real kind of culture. But it's always going to be easier for a brand to sponsor someone who's less risky than more risky, you know? Because even if those brands are working with those kind of edgier streams, there's always a risk that they say something that's over the line, and then that brand is tied to that statement. So kind of tough there. There was a comment in chat from let me say St. Clinton, who said, I don't bother to watch a streamer again if they are continuously swearing. I figure that they aren't good at what they are playing if they need to swear, which is kind of an interesting comment. But it kind of shows like a viewer perspective there. Yeah. That was interesting. Any other thoughts on this one, guys?
I don't know. That last comment has me thinking about things. You know what I mean? As somebody who plays at, like, I'm not saying I'm great, but I am decent at Siege. I'm definitely getting better. And my vocabulary choice has nothing to do with my skill. My vocabulary choice is just because that's what I decided to say. Like, there's not, like, I don't think I'm saying any mean or hurtful things or anything wrong because I'm swearing. I think I'm just using words that I'm just used to that other people aren't, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like it, that's fine, but I'm gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know.
Go ahead, Sadomi.
So, my problem with this statement is that I can write a whole book on this, because as a black man growing up in a very we'll say the hood, and also kind of going to boarding school and going to different like college, going to other different like environments, I've learned that judging someone based on their language and their skill is quite frankly it's very close to closet racism in a way for a lot of things too as well, because for example, the N-word's a very contentious word. People hate it, people love it, people say who can say it based on your skin color, everything like that. And if I'm getting too deep here or anything, let me know. I'll stop anytime. But yeah, if you like, using language is just a pretty much a conglomeration of someone's background, someone's upbringing, someone's personal just like language use, and saying that someone because of what they say or how they say it, like a good example, Gary Vaynerchuk, he swears a lot. Tell me this man doesn't know how to make money. Tell me this man doesn't work hard. Tell me this man doesn't know how to brand. Okay, PewDiePie says a lot of you show him to grandma from 1960. Yeah, no, not gonna fly. But guess what? This man knows how to make content. It doesn't matter what language you use. It does, because, like I said, your language doesn't determine your skill at something. It determines how you portray ideas, and everyone portrays ideas differently. For another example, Eminem, or matter of fact, almost any rapper. Some of them use a lot of vulgar language. Some of them don't use any vulgar language at all. And some of them have great lyrics. Some of them have bad lyrics, and that has nothing to do with with what they speak, or like the language they use. I mean, you know, rap's also a thing too, where you have to use a lot of words in general to make very awesome music, and it's very hard. I really don't know how they do it. But using words, like using words to describe someone's skill at something is I'm gonna say it's stupid. I'm sorry, it's stupid. Like, it's stupid. I didn't want to be rude about it, but it's stupid.
As a person, it has nothing to do with the character of the person, the skills that they have. It doesn't have anything to do with the content, really. It's just how that person decides to articulate what they're thinking or trying to say. This is the topic for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Bill, you could even said it too. Like, it's going to take brands a few years to realize that nobody cares that people curse. It's part of. It's very much part of vernacular now, I think, and I think a lot of them have kind of like lost the edge of like being a bad word. Like, I know you watch TV, you watch movies, you just talk to people now. More people are likely to drop an F-bomb than like my mom is, because from her generation, that was like the worst thing you could ever say to anyone ever. And now it's just kind of like, I don't know, man, it sounds like a word, and I don't really care.
Well, I don't.
Also, too, going one more point.
I'm not going to talk like that, or I don't personally like that word, but I don't think that means that you're good or bad at something. I think it's just that's part of your vocabulary.
I think you're right in saying that like brands still have some stuff to learn there, but I don't think that it's fair to say that like nobody cares about swearing. I definitely agree that's become more accepted for sure, but I think certain brands are just never going to work with people who swear. I mean, forever. But there will be brands who realize that, okay, this actually works well with our brand. This kind of fits with what we're trying to create. So I think that you'll see a lot more of that in the coming years. But there will always be some brands who don't want to be a part of that, in my opinion.
True. Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's just a norm to try to not swear as any sort of entertainer. You know what I mean? With TV being ran the way it is, you have people that like won't allow certain things, and you definitely can't like say certain words. And so like that's just been the norm for so long. It's just like that was like the only real form of entertainment for a very long time. And obviously nobody swore then, because people didn't allow it. And then so you get like that's just how you think you should behave. And I think like the more like things like Twitch start coming out where there's not somebody controlling your content, I feel like it's just going to be a much more normalized thing where people just swear. Like I think it's just going to be a very normal thing in the future.
I think it already kind of is becoming that, to be honest, on a lot of these platforms. But Sadomi, something last to add here?
Yeah, because also going back to like the origins of a lot of swear words, that is a lot of them come from what I understand, I may be like wrong and thinking this come from religious backgrounds as well. And so with how I've been more traveled, I've traveled a lot. I've seen a lot of different people. I've learned different backgrounds with different things. Like for instance, like for me, you don't say goddamn in someone's like religious household. That's like the one thing you don't say, but you can say like F bombs or whatever else you want, or even like hard ER. I've seen that. I've experienced that. So, like I said, it all depends on who you are and what your background is. And quite frankly, that's how you grew up. I'm not going to really be like, I think it's a limiting viewpoint. That's why I think it's stupid. I don't
I mean, it's all based on like your own personal beliefs and cultures, which actually I want to mention British had a follow-up point that the reason he's doing this is because his sister's having a child. So he wants to tone it down so that, he can kind of have kids watching him, I suppose, which I think is good to mention because he actually has a reason to do this beyond, right. I want to be brand friendly. No, I want to do this so that like I'm a good example to my thinking here, my nephew, or I want to be watchable. I want my sister to be able to show her son me on Twitch without having to be worried about me saying a word or something. So I think having a reason like that is a better reason to do that than just like I want to make more money with brands or something,
Yep.
So, but that was a great topic. Thank you for that, British. And I think that's one that we can continue to talk about over the years and see how brands kind of change with that. We have some more questions coming through. Oh, there's a lot of talking. People are all checking their lemons in chat here. I got to find, okay, one from Impending Duff. I think someone asked a question earlier that I lost. I think Gamefather asked one. So if you guys ask a question, please feel free to re-ask it since chat's moving today. So Impending Duff said, on the subject of a buck more to sub on mobile, there's a small growing trend of streamers asking their viewers not to sub to them on Twitch, but instead support them on Patreon. How do you feel this affects content and supporting a streamer negatively or positively? What do you guys think about Patreon instead of the direct Twitch subs as a streamer? Sadomi?
I mean, I think everyone who knows me knows how I think about this. If it's better for you, like if you get more of the cut from that and it's easier for your audience, I think the hardest part would be conversion because, again, the more steps you take to get people away from the site, the less times you're going to take it. So if you have one button right here that you press, let's see, I resub to Twitch, boom, 2 buttons, and I can resub up to TRUgaming channel, boom, right there. Versus Patreon, I got to go click a link, click the Patreon button, enter my information, log in, boom, more steps. So you get less conversion on that, but if you get enough people who do that consistently and that's easier for you, then I say for all means do it. Like I said, it's if it brings you more income and that's what you want, then yeah, that's fine. I see no problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think if Twitch is taking half of every sub, then even if you only get half as many people to sub to you on Patreon as Twitch, you're still making the same amount of money. So that's kind of crazy to think about. MPI, you have thoughts on Patreon? And also a little note here is Duff is a creative streamer, which I think has an extra bonus attached since he does like commissions and things. And I'm sure he's using Patreon for that as well. What do you think, MPI? Since you do some creative stuff with editing and photos as well.
I mean, I've never used Patreon myself, and I don't know if telling people like specifically I don't want your subs, I just want your Patreon instead is beneficial. I think just letting people know, hey, I have a Patreon. And I always think as a content creator, because you get a lot of people that don't want to pay content creators because it's free content. They think they deserve it for free, and that if you're making money, you're selling out. So I think being transparent about it is a good thing. Saying, hey, this is how much money I make off of a Twitch subscription. This is how much I would make if you spent the same amount on Patreon. You choose where you want to go. If you really want to have emotes, sub on Twitch. That way you get the emotes. If you just care that I'm making money, or say, on Patreon, you get an extra little bonus instead of the emote, go there. Or you have the option to do both. It's your money. You're grown. Do what you want with it. But I think if you're thinking about doing it that way, just telling people straight up, hey, man, I make more money off Patreon. And if your main goal is to help support me, the extra couple clicks isn't going to kill you. Go for it. If it's you really just want to have my emotes because you want to be able to show them off in other chats, or to use them to interact with this chat and not have to worry about the ad pre-roll, I mean, go for the sub. Either way, I'm making money. I don't think any money is bad money. So just be honest with people why you would rather them do that.
Yeah, giving the options is a good idea too, so that it's not, you have to do this.
No one feels forced to do anything.
Right.
And I think that makes a big difference with people working to support their favorite content creators. Is they don't feel like they have to sub. They don't feel like they have to support your Patreon. It's, hey, here's 4 or 5 options of where you can, support me with tips, subs, Patreon, merch, commissions, whatever you have.
Yep. I like that idea a lot. Vel, do you have thoughts on Patreon?
Not too much, just because like I don't do anything really outside of like streaming and obviously YouTube. Like I don't do creative stuff. I don't have anything that I could like offer really for a Patreon. Like that'd just be like, give me more money. You know what I mean? Like that's what it feels like to me if I were to do it. I would say that if it's something that you want to do, make sure that there's a reason for them to go over there and do that, not just specifically for making more money. Like, obviously Duff has a very valid reason for sure, being a creative streamer. But it's a lot more steps to go and do something like that, like we've said. So for me, Patreon isn't really a thing that I even think about ever. If I start, providing a service of some sort, then maybe, but for right now, I'll just stick with Twitch. But it does suck, obviously they take half the earnings off of that. But at the end of the day, that's that's part of the business, and if you don't want to deal with that, you can go somewhere else and do the same thing.
Yeah, I think you're right too, that you have to have some reason to use Patreon beyond just give me more money. There's some people who use it really well to give like extra content, or maybe they'll send out bathwater. If that's what you're into. You got to get that money somehow, man. No, I think it's a good idea though, especially as a creative streamer. Maybe you can do like a patron only giveaway, or patrons get some sort of thing that you're making, which would be kind of cool. Some people use like they'll make extra videos for patrons or other sorts of content you can only get that way. I think
that's the big one I see.
Yeah, that's a good way to kind of add more value there, I think.
I don't think you could do a Patreon only giveaway though, could you? Because that would
it might be gambling.
That might be Just I just want to clear the water on that. I don't want someone to be like, oh, I'll do this. Like they'll give me money, they'll get a giveaway. Like
it could be that like everyone who's a patron gets something, maybe like each new patron gets whatever little thing you're giving away.
Right.
Some people do like they'll be like Patreons the first time you sub, or like every 6 months or quarter you'll get like a sticker or something, that if you're not a Patreon sub, you have to go buy the sticker out of my merch store or something like that.
Right. Absolutely. So St. Clinton asked, is one tax based on the full amount or after the split? I don't know actually if taxes
I think it would just be your income.
Yeah, I think it has
whatever you get from it is what you're taxed at. So if Twitch you make $2.50 and Patreon you'd make $3 off of a $5 sub, you get taxed at $2.50 or $3.
By the way, guys, if you're kind of confused about tax stuff, I actually just updated our tax guide we did a couple months ago with the CPA. That's on YouTube. If you want to know more about tax stuff on Twitch, we did a whole hour episode on that, so that is on YouTube and podcast stuff. All right, so I think we're wide open on questions. Does anybody have a topic they want to kind of discuss this week that you've been thinking about? Perhaps I'd like to give that opportunity every once in a while. No. All right. Well,
Yeah,
I'll
thought
present
about
one
it.
then. So Vel has been discussing the possibility of doing a rebrand. So
Yep.
I kind of wanted to talk to you about why you want to do a rebrand, and then B, kind of how you're going about that process. So do you want
Okay.
to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So I want to do a rebrand because right now I don't have any overlay or anything. And I don't think there's a problem with that, but I do feel like it makes it so I stand out less in the current area of the directory that I'm at. You know what I mean? I'm not like down there like with 0 to 5 viewers where like that's a very normal thing to see and it's not that big of a deal. I'm starting to like get up higher in the directory on Siege. And so when you don't really have anything, you don't really stand out as much. But I always get scared of like having like too much on my overlay because now that I do YouTube, it's even more of an issue to have something that just takes up too much screen space. It's like kind of an eyesore because things on Twitch look totally normal, but if you go and like bring them over to YouTube, it's very, very different. No one wants to see, so and so donated this money or
Yep.
this is your most recent follower. Like nobody on YouTube cares about that stuff. So I'm just been trying to think of something, and also at the same time, this is another thing that's running through my head, is that I do have these YouTube videos which get exposure to people that don't know about my channel, and so I've been wanting to add like a Twitter, an Instagram link to my to those social media platforms on there, just so people know where they can reach me outside of YouTube if they don't even know about my Twitch or anything, and vice versa. If they don't know that I have Instagram or Twitter, but they do watch my streams. But trying to find like the perfect balance between all of those things is something that I'm currently trying to do. And so yeah, I basically want to like help. I want my stream to start popping out a little bit more in the directory, but not too much to where it starts hurting the aesthetics on YouTube. And so I'm currently trying to talk to my graphics guy, and so we'll see where that goes. And if that doesn't work out with him, I'm going to be looking into Fiverr.
Gotcha. So it's mostly like overlay kind of stuff that you're looking at.
Yeah, for sure. In a new logo, I feel like my logo's been like used up for a while. You know what I mean? Like I do like it, but I think it's time to start updating some things.
Yeah.
And just have like a little bit more, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing stuff, I guess.
Right. I got you. MPI, you kind of talked about doing a rebrand in the past, kind of more on the professional side with the whole Spencer SB side. Do you want to talk about some of your experience with that as well?
Sure. So I did that, and I kind of, when I started looking more and more and more into YouTube, I found a big thing was you have to be so particular on your YouTube channel. Like, if you have too many different kinds of content, it's not favorable on YouTube. So what I kind of found there was if I wanted to still have streaming and have YouTube as an option, I should stick with one type of branding for gaming and then one for if I wanted to do like photography or vlogging on YouTube. And that kind of really turned me off from a lot of it because I don't want to build two brands at the same time just because YouTube is so particular about it.
Yeah, and
So
it's hard to split your focus on two brands at once too.
Yeah, so I kind of stuck with the MPI, and then I have a channel for the other one that it would just be like I made this video and put it on here, or it would be more of a portfolio rather than a brand to grow.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think trying to go full focus on one thing is definitely the better pathway than trying to go two different accounts at once, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. So, Doan, do you have any thoughts on rebranding? You've kind of changed your names a couple times to shorter versions of themselves. You've also jumped around platforms a little bit. Was any of that tied into branding at all?
So I'm doing some research into branding lately, and the first thing I realized about branding that I probably didn't realize much before, and a lot of other people don't really understand too, I think, on Twitch at least or in the online space, is your brand isn't how you look or what colors you use, what overlays you use. It's actually about you yourself and what you bring to the table and how people know you and what you will want to be known for. So before you do any rebranding whatsoever, you have to take all that into account. Like a rebranding shouldn't take less than like a month, I think, at all. It would, because you have to sit down and really do some deep diving. Like, hey, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to do? What is your main caveat? Like, what is your thing? And when you go for graphics and all that, that is supplementary to that. Because I think a lot of people, when they do a rebrand, I know I did it back in the past too. It's just they just kind of change their name, change their colors or graphics, and that was it. Not really changing themselves. And then you don't see change from that, because as much as I love saying, the bells and whistles are cool, like the graphics are cool, but the main part is changing yourself and making sure it's consistent to what you want to bring to the table.
So like your personal brand rather than just your graphics overhaul, essentially.
Yeah, that's way more important than just whatever graphics you use.
Yeah,
and at that point, I think that's not even really a rebrand. If you're just changing graphics, you're just changing graphics. You're just a redesign.
Yeah, or just a graphics update, sort of. I think there's a difference there. There's a lot of these words are sort of buzzwords that can mean a lot of different things. So yeah, doing a graphics update is different than doing a complete brand overhaul. But maybe like you're playing different games now and you're streaming at different times, or you want to be doing different types of content altogether. That could be like a brand update or a brand redo, essentially. So that makes a lot of sense. Cool. So I just want to touch on that topic. We do have a couple more questions coming in the chat here. So Big Panda says, wouldn't advertising your Patreon on Twitch be against Twitch rules if you want your viewers to sub there instead of Twitch? If it's not a rule, do you think Twitch will make it a rule? I don't think it's against any TOS right now on Twitch to advertise your Patreon, to the best of my knowledge, unless someone else knows differently. One thing that someone mentioned earlier was they feel like if you try and push people towards Patreon, Twitch won't promote you as much, which is kind of like a conspiracy theory there. Could be possible. We'll never really know based on algorithm stuff.
How much promotion do you get from Twitch right now anyway? You know what I mean?
Exactly. I don't think it's really going to make a difference, but it shouldn't be against the rules to promote your own Patreon, really. So hopefully that makes sense there. DJ Slammin', I love that name, said, I'm thinking about doing some randomizer games, but the one game that I'm comfortable with requires people to use bits. I'm not sure how I feel about asking people for bits. Would it be more beneficial to learn a new game and have it be free, or a game I know inside and out? Interesting. So basically the only randomizer he can find is one that's driven by bits that he's okay with. I'm actually not familiar with like stream driven randomizers, if I'm understanding this correctly. Sadomi, you look like you're trying to say something about this.
Yeah, so the first thing I'll say is assume no one has used any bits whatsoever. Do you still have content? That's the first thing I already dropped there. So that's the first thing. If the answer there is no, scrap it.
Fair enough. I don't. Have you guys heard of? I guess it's an extension, is what it sounds like. Anything like this? Vel, have you?
I think Miss Hobo Slayer's used stuff like this before for like Pokemon streams. I've heard of using it for Dark Souls 3. Like you can like send you to like a random location if you like spend 100 bits or whatever, and like easier places to be at are like lower amounts of money, and harder places are more like higher amounts of money. So I really don't like anything that like people need to give me money for, really. Like subs, donations, cheers, and everything. Like that's fine. Like giving people that option, I feel like is good. But I don't like adding something just for the sake of earning something. You know what I mean? Like anything that you put into your stream, I feel like should just be content based, and people should be able to be included whether they can spend money or not. I feel like, if anything, and obviously that would make it kind of difficult if somebody, like, if you just kept getting sent somewhere in a game, if it was free, you know what I mean? Because anybody could just do it. So that's why I think you just had to be picky, like pick and choose like the kind of stuff that you add to your stream, and maybe put like timers on something or cooldowns or whatever. But I really don't like the idea of adding something just to get money out of it. I don't like that idea at all.
I think it sounds like he's not really doing it for the money so much. It's just that like the only thing he can find requires that you use bits, which is kind of interesting. There's probably other ways to do this besides using bits. I think like this sounds like something that'd be really cool with the channel points once those are developed a bit more, because then anybody can use those. But I don't know. MPI, do you have any other thoughts for DJ here?
I think Sadomi put it perfectly of, if nobody spends any bits or doesn't do the randomizer at all, do you still have content? If not, then don't do it, because It's the same thing as trying to do like a just chatting stream and knowing you only have 2 people that are always there. You're going to run out of things to do.
Right.
So if you don't have content, if no one's involved, I wouldn't do it. And kind of like Veli said, I wouldn't add something that they have to use bits for, because for a lot of reasons, again, we go back to what we were talking about with Patreon, that a lot of people see a content creator trying to make money and they're like, oh, that guy's just a sellout. He just wants money. So they get turned off from it. 2, people who can't spend bits are going to feel left out because they can't afford it or they just don't want to. And having an option to do it without bits or with bits, I think is, if you're going to have it with bits included at all, would be the way to do it. That way there is an option for people who don't want to spend bits or can't, and then people who maybe are more likely to spend bits or are able to can do something extra with that. But I don't think adding it just to, make $3 or $4 in bits is going to be something useful or positive for your community. I think if there is one out there that's free and you really just want to do the randomizer for fun, I would learn the free one.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to say that I agree that your content should be able to work on its own regardless of the randomizer. But I think it is kind of cool to have something more that you can use bits for, especially since that if it's through an extension, it's probably supporting the developer as well. So, I mean, that's kind of a cool way to support the person who worked hard on that. And I kind of get why they want to get paid for their work. But again, like these guys are saying, of course, you have to have some way for people who can't purchase bits to interact with the stream and make it interesting. So
I would say if you do end up doing the extension where people have to spend money, just make sure to, be like, don't be aggressive about it. Be like, you guys can just cheer bits and like this will happen. Like, you don't need to like remind them or anything. Like, it could be a thing that you just like tell them about at the beginning of the stream and then they'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of leave it to do its own thing. Because like, I'm not saying you shouldn't make money. I'm not saying that, people shouldn't donate money to you or anything, but just be chill about it. You know what I mean? Don't be that guy that's just like keeps pressing for money, because nobody likes that.
Yeah, Treasure Hunter Tom in chat said, I don't see anything wrong with adding a premium interactive option. And that's sort of the same thing.
Right.
That's fine to add, just so long as that's not the only way to interact, right? Where it's not premium anymore. It's just the standard is you have to pay to interact. That's the difference there. So that was a cool question, though. So hopefully it helps you, DJ. Thank you for that one. Guys, sorry, go ahead.
It looks like Mortanis TV said something that might be beneficial in chat. He said crowd control also gives a free amount of points each stream, so people that can't buy bits can still interact. So that might be a good one to look into. It sounds like it has both options.
Okay.
And it gives people points just for being there, kind of like a reward system.
Right. And again, I really think this would be a really cool thing to do with channel points once they come out. You can create your own custom commands, because it's always going to be easier for people to use something that's built into the platform, and it's also free to an extent. So I think that makes a lot of sense there. Once they kind of add some more customization to that, we'll have to wait and see. Guys, we have about half an hour left in the show, so if you want to get your questions in, now is the time. You can just at TRUgaming in chat with any questions you have. And again, we're going to do the giveaway for the Switch and the headset at the end of the show, so stick around. We are getting close to that. I did have a topic for you guys of my own to kind of ask. So there's a couple. The first one is off-stream gaming. So I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand with the Twitch bubble burst we talked about last week. MPI, Sadomi, if you guys didn't hear that, we kind of talked about how we kind of feel like the hype for streaming has died down a little bit in the past couple of months. And you're seeing more people kind of either quit streaming or not stream as much, kind of losing that magic factor of it. And so to kind of go off of that, what do you guys think about off-stream gaming? Is it something that you've been doing more of lately? Do you off-stream game at all? Vel, you want to give a little thoughts on that?
Yeah. Back when I, had a full-time job and streaming was more of like a very part-time thing, and it was a hobby, I would only stream, like I would only play video games if I was streaming, because I obviously didn't have that much time. But now that I'm a full-time streamer and I play video games on stream all day, it is nice to be able to play games and just kind of relax, and just like you don't have to like narrate the whole thing. You don't have to worry about like being an energetic person on at that current time. Not that it's like a difficult thing to do, but it's just very relaxed. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
just it's nice to be able to play games with people off stream. And honestly, like you're just building, you know, relationships even better by just playing games off stream. Like there's, you know, they're not watching you or anything. There's no like there's nothing to do with Twitch. You're just hanging out with friends, and it is something that I feel like more people should start doing because I used to only play games on stream, and it takes away from gaming a little bit. Like like gaming itself loses its magic,
Hmm.
and you just you just fall out from like what it feels like to just be a gamer, which is it's a cool feeling to get back into. Because like playing games off stream has been great. I didn't think I would ever do it, you know what I mean? But like
Mhm.
I play games off stream all the time now, and I love it. It is amazing, and it gets you more excited. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Did you have that feeling early on where you kind of anytime you're gaming, you should be streaming in the past?
100%. Yeah, I like because especially at first, because like you want your stream to do well, you want to start growing. So if you're playing games, why not turn on the stream? You know what I mean? Like what? Like why not do that? And like after a while, like streaming it's I don't know. I don't want to say it loses its magic, but at the same time, it's not the only thing that you focus on anymore. Like gaming just for the sake of gaming, like becomes way more enticing. Like the more you only stream video games. Um, so I would say like just try to play video games off stream with people and don't think about like the progress that you're losing out on, you know, like because I always used to like hate playing games off stream. Like what if I get a nice kill and my you know chat misses it? Like what if I like get an ace and it's like the coolest thing I've ever done but no one's there to watch it? That's totally fine. You know what I mean? Like you're still getting practice in for that game, like you're still like hanging out playing games with friends, and like that's like the main thing of what gaming is just hanging out.
So are you playing the same kind of games off stream as you are on stream, or is there sort of a difference there?
There's a little bit of difference. Like
Okay.
I play a lot more Hunt Showdown off stream than I do on stream,
Hmm.
and I don't play as much Siege off stream as I do on stream. Just because I
Gotcha.
play it all the day on stream.
Yeah, MPI. I mean, do you do off stream gaming more so now than you did before? And do you kind of play different games off stream than you do on stream?
I feel like I'm kind of getting back to playing more games off of stream
Hmm.
because for a long time I was like Velokk said, I was the same way of I'm playing. Why am I not streaming? Like it seems like I should be. And then the more that I did it, either you know as full time or just constantly, I was like, but I still like video games, and maybe I don't want to play this game on stream because it isn't something that I think stream would enjoy, or it's you know just a game that I missed out on from 10 years ago and I just want to play it for fun. Those are the times that I want to play a game off stream. I don't know if I would say I play the same on or off because I feel like I play a lot of everything.
Hmm.
Like I don't stick to just first person shooters. I try to play like FPS, adventure.
I thought there was like,
all
is
kinds
there
of
sort of a
stuff,
brand
so-
that you've created for your stream that you feel like you can't play games outside of that brand at this point?
Not really.
Okay, you're more of a variety caster than Sadomi
yeah.
and Bell, I think. So that kind of works.
I don't know that like if I picked up like Madden and played it, it would be good. But I
Yeah.
feel like because I focus so much more on the story of games, so it doesn't really matter how we get through that story as long as we get through the story, whether it's platforming, adventure, you know, shoot 'em ups, beat 'em ups, fighting, whatever it is. Off stream, I try to play more. I probably play more competitive games off stream than I do on, because I know that I will find myself 100% tranced in and not talking when I'm doing it. So if I want to play, you know, something like Halo, I'm probably going to play it off stream when I'm playing multiplayer because I'm going to focus on nothing but the game and I would never interact with chat and it wouldn't be fun to watch.
I got you. Actually, kind of on that topic, Treasure Hunter Tom said if he games off stream, he still catches himself doing commentary even while not streaming. Do you guys find yourself doing that?
Yeah,
I have before, yeah. And sometimes I do it and I'm like, who am I talking to? Like,
Yeah.
I'll catch myself be like, am I talking to myself?
That's funny. Sadomi, what about you with off-stream gaming, man?
So this is going to surprise a lot of people probably, but I actually hate playing games on stream. Completely. I just like talking to people. So like when I get to a point, if I could just like sit there and then just chatting and just like talk my point of view, put my words out there, have a nice discussion of being called a monkey 25 times, I would.
Jesus.
Have you tried that? I
know.
mean, that seems like
Yeah, and I got called a monkey 25 times.
I mean, you can ban those people. I don't know. That seems
Oh, they keep
like...
coming back though. They keep coming back. But when I play Rocket League, it's so when it comes to off stream gaming, like if I'm playing an RPG, that cat scared me. Sorry. I'm playing an RPG. I want my blanket. I want my drink. I want like my snack. I'm not in this chair. I'm in a couch. Or I'm in this chair. I'm sitting back. I'm comfy. Lights are off. Like you have stream those bright things in your eyes. Yeah, I'm comfy. If I'm playing Rocket League competitively, I'm not looking at anything. Like I even have a stream on my a scene in my chat where it's like, listen, I'm playing competitively. I'm not looking at chat. No alerts. No nothing. So my game's up. I'll look at chat later when we're done. If like I said, for me, streaming isn't a platform to showcase me playing a game. It's for me to provide my opinion and provide my live commentary on on like life and everything. Because like I said, I just play Rocket League. I can do that in my sleep at this point because I've played it so much. That's why I stream mostly Rocket League. It's a good avenue for me to just talk. Everything else, if I'm playing an RPG, I don't want to talk. Why would I want to talk? I got big, beautiful anime people right in front of me, and I got to focus on that. I got to focus on what they're telling me, trying to save the kingdom because Jack number 3 is over here trying to destroy the world and bring up zombies. I'm trying to stop this dude over here, and you want me to read about your chat over here? Not, and I'm trying to focus on this story right now. Okay. Rocket League though, I can do that. I can talk to people that play Rocket League because for me, like I said, it's built in.
Actually, that's a cool topic that I kind of want to talk on too. Like playing a game that you're extremely familiar with, I think, is huge for streaming because then you don't have to think about playing the game. You can just focus on what you're talking to chat with, which is pretty. I think that's why I see people play a lot of the same game for a long time because you could just kind of play without thinking at some point, which is pretty cool. I think I've actually been playing more off stream lately for a couple reasons. One is with playing with friends. Because something we talked about earlier this episode is certain friends might not be the best to stream with for what you're trying to create. If they're like saying certain things, maybe like you're trying to be PG and they're cursing, like British talked about, or if they are constantly talking over you. I mean, have you guys had this experience where certain friends that you love to play with are just not great to stream with, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so like, if you hit the point where you're only going to be gaming while streaming, then you basically never get to play with those friends at some point. So I think having off-stream gaming to still play with those people who are important to you is really cool. And also not be so worried about talking to chat all the time. You can still just like talk with your buddies and not be so worried about that. So that's been big. But some other comments in the chat here. Andy Turbo was saying he likes to play story-driven games off-stream, so he's not too distracted taking the story. It's kind of what Sadomi said. Same kind of situation there. You don't have to be so distracted by chat while you're focusing on that. Any other thoughts to add on this one, guys, for off-stream gaming or the streaming bubble a little bit?
Just do it even if you don't want to. Try it.
Just try streaming off-stream gaming.
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people hit that point at some point because I think we've all felt at some point in the journey, I'm gaming, so I should be streaming, right? I'm losing time streaming right now. And then at some point you kind of get over that, I think. But Sadomi, do you feel differently, or you kind of shaking your head there?
I've always had this feeling where I'm a stream when I'm streaming. When I'm feeling it. I want to entertain people, not when I want to like playing games. Because I've not always separated that, but I've mostly separated that. When I first started, I streamed Mountain Blade Warband. Don't stream Warband. But it's like I said, it's for me. When I'm streaming, I want to be entertaining. If I just want to play a game, I'm playing a game. To me, I separate those two pretty evenly. I pretty much use Rocket League as an avenue.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move through the questions here. Andy Turbo also says, do you guys think the emphasis on having a webcam is starting to diminish for streamers? That's a cool question. Do you feel like the importance of webcams is getting smaller overall, going away?
No.
Okay, Vel, why not?
No. I think that having a camera helps you out way more than like there are exceptions to the rule. Obviously, there's people who make it and there's people who do very well on Twitch that don't have a camera, but having a camera, like no matter what you look like, I think is beneficial just because that person can connect with you much faster than if they like weren't able to see you, they weren't able to like see like how you express things. Like there's so many more things that you can do with a camera that like you don't even realize that like are so beneficial, and it just helps your community connect with you. And I feel like that's the most important thing on Twitch is connecting with people. And if you're limiting that, it's just it I don't know. I don't know. There's so many benefits to having a camera as opposed to not having a camera. But if you're dead set on not having a camera, it's not the end of the world. Like you can still make it work, but you just have to be so much more audibly animated, and your reactions have to be so much more on point. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot more things that you have to do and worry about when you don't have a camera, to where like I think it's just not even worth the struggle.
Yeah, I totally get that. MPI, what do you think about cameras? Have they become less important for streaming?
I don't think so either. I agree with pretty much everything that Veli said. Is the whole point in Twitch is interaction and a connection. So for me, not having a webcam, I could just go watch TV, or I could go watch a YouTube playthrough if that's what I wanted. But I want to connect with who I'm watching and chatting with. I want to see that person and kind of actually make a connection and relationship and know who they are, not just what do they sound like and do they play video games. Because I feel like that's much more what YouTube would be for, is people who maybe do a playthrough and either have no commentary at all and you just want to watch it because maybe it's a game that you can't afford right now, or you just don't think you would enjoy the gameplay of it, but you're really interested in the story. So watching with no commentary and no camera is good, but going to a live stream, it's all live. That's where it's fun, is the interaction, because it is live.
Right. Okay. So Domi, you have any other kind of different thoughts to add there, maybe?
I'm gonna piss a lot of people off when I say this, but
Really?
Hit me.
If you're boring, you need a webcam. If you have if your voice sucks, you need a webcam. If you don't have anything important to say, you need a webcam. If you have bad presentation, you should get a webcam. Because if you have anything else that's like good and engaging, enticing, I know plenty of streamers who have great streams, great commentary, great things about them with no webcam. Some that are way better than my stream, way better. And I have a decent mic, decent cam, a decent lighting. Like it doesn't matter what you have gear wise. If you suck, your stream's gonna suck. It doesn't matter. Webcam or not. If you suck, you suck. Simple as that. Webcam's not gonna make you not suck.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that having a camera is just like worth it whether you suck or not. You know what I mean? Like when you go into Tin the Tatman's stream and something happens, like imagine like not seeing like just his expression on his face when he gets like absolutely pooped on in Fortnite or something like that. Like just that really subtle, just like, you know, like just that alone. Like if there's nothing going on, he doesn't have a camera, like you don't get to experience that. There's very little things that make a really big difference. Like when you see that the streamer is just like, I just got pooped on, and like a lot, and everybody just saw it, and like they're just kind of like dumbfounded. Like that's content right there where you don't even need to do anything.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Now, right there, I agree with you 100%. But again, those Tims suck.
No.
Exactly.
So
that's why. So his webcam helps him because he doesn't suck. I say if he's when I say that, I mean sorry. Let me make it more clear. He's expressive. He's expressive
For sure.
You can hear it in his voice. You can hear it in his physical emotions or physical movements, and you can see it in his like in-game reactions. It's all a package. Right. So let's say if it's me, let's say I kill him, like, oh, I died again. Even if I have a camera there, that's not going to help me.
That's not even streaming in the first place. That's just gaming with a camera.
I feel like it's hard not to argue that objectively a camera is always going to help your stream at some point. But that said, I think there are cases where you don't need to use a camera. So, for example, there was a clip of Shroud. He was playing GTA 5 and he turned off his camera. And he was talking about how he actually loves streaming without a webcam, but he just knows it's so much better for his stream to use a camera. And I would argue that basically probably the best reason to not use a webcam is if you're a super competitive streamer and that helps you focus better on your game. And it's hard to argue that you're better than Shroud. So I think like, but if you're the type of person where like maybe a camera makes you very nervous on stream and you feel like you can't stream normally with a webcam, or, you know, something that I felt recently, I stopped using a webcam because I feel like I actually play a lot better without a camera lately. And I know that affects my stream, but it's worth it for me because mentally I can stream a lot more effectively. So I think there are cases where like if you don't want to use webcam, you don't have to. But I also think that it's almost always better to use one in terms of growth, if that makes sense. So there's a lot to unpack there, but I do see more streams without a webcam lately, it feels like, where it seems like there was kind of the standard is to use the webcam in the past, but now you see some people who maybe had a webcam in the past who aren't using one now. It kind of goes with that streamer bubble, I think, where you've kind of lost that, gotta have the mic, gotta have the webcam, gotta have whatever, the lights, the chair. And now people are actually having a reason for everything to use on the stream. That, I think, is where you see a lot of people moving, and that's kind of the better way to be streaming. So, any other thoughts on this one, guys, before I move on?
Use a webcam.
There you go.
Improve yourself first.
Yeah. Well, I think you should just have a reason. Yeah, have a reason for what you're doing. If you're not using a webcam, why are you not using webcam? Are you just not turning it on because you don't feel like it? Or
it better be very immersive if you're not like god level at something and like you don't have a webcam.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So I guess the last question here will be from God of Zig. Said, do you think things like face rig or similar technology makes any difference over having a live feed of your actual face? Okay. So face rig versus camera doesn't matter, I guess. MPI, what do you think?
I guess it kind of depends on what you're going for. If you're building a brand around a character, obviously have that face rig. I think also if it's just maybe it's a privacy thing, like you don't want your face exposed on the internet, but you still want to get content out there. I don't know if it hurts or makes it better. I think if you're going to use a face rig, you have to be a lot more personable or expressive in your voice and in your movements, because that face rig will move and follow you. So if you have a face rig and you just have a character sitting there with its non-moving lips, mouth going like this, it's not going to be fun. If you have the character turns into Kermit the Frog and is all over the screen, it's exciting. So I think if you're going to use it, you really need to play it up and kind of be extra entertaining compared to someone with a webcam where you see their facial reaction. Because like Belly said with Tim, he dies and he doesn't even say anything. He just kind of like shakes his head.
Yeah.
What you're gonna do kind of thing. The face rig won't catch that as much.
Yeah. Vel or Sadomi, you guys have any quick thoughts on face rig?
My thoughts kind of stand from the last question. If you're good at what you're doing and you're doing it well and you're entertaining and you're engaged and you're making it work, then again, face rig, camera, doesn't matter either way. Like Meemaw's a great example, actually. Like if you go to stream, sometimes she'll oh yeah, exactly. That's what brought it up. I think the first time I went to her stream, I think did Sadomi, and then literally she just went woo, woo. I was like,
real quick for anyone who's maybe not sure, face rig is a software that'll map like an animated character to your face on stream. Just because some people probably don't know what the heck we're talking about with face rig right now.
Oh yeah,
it's the thing you put on your face.
Yeah,
and
it's a rig. Sorry, go ahead, Sadomi.
Yeah, and so that right there, that's a good way to use the tool. Like I said, webcam's a tool. If you use it as a tool, it's good. If you just have it to have it, it's not doing much for you, doing anything, then it doesn't really matter. Like I could have a 10 DSLRs doing 360 cam room view. If I'm just sitting in my chair, there's no real point to it. Unless like there's a war zone in the background or there's a pupper running around. So again,
yeah, I think
tools
like that, you hit the nail on the head. You have to have a reason to use it, right? It's a tool. Don't just use it just because. The best streams fully, like Meemaw, fully embraces the whole cat thing, right? I mean, she's got scenes made up for it. She talks like she is the character. I mean, she goes all in on it. And you do see some streams, I've seen many in sponsorship application reviews, of people who use face rig, and it's just very strange because they don't acknowledge it at all, but the person's a goat. I have no idea why this person's a goat, but he is. And it's no different from any other stream except that he's a goat. So just make sure you have a reason to use it, basically. And there's a lot of weird face rigs. Yeah, I've seen like devils. I've seen like there's all sorts of strange stuff. So just make sure you have a reason to use it when you're gonna do that. Maybe make like an alternate character or something, or that is your main character. So, yeah. Vel, any quick thoughts to add on face rig?
No, I'm good. I'm just laughing at the thought of just a random goat streaming on like something that doesn't even make any sense. Like that's just
Goat
Not even
Simulator.
say anything.
And this was a couple
Just
years
casually
ago.
playing Siege or something. Just like it's just a goat, you know. Like,
Yep. Oh my god. And then this was when Facebook was not very good too. So it was just this goat kind of like staring around. I'm like, what am I watching right now? Like first round sponsorships. Yeah, that was a mess back then. All right. I think we are nearing the end of the show, guys, which I know you've all been waiting for the giveaway. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and kind of wrap up here. So Sadomi, what should people know about you? Where can they find you? All that good stuff.
Folks, I'm Sadomi. Thank you for having me here on StreamKey Podcast. Once again, love being on here. You can find me at Sadomi just Sadomi on Twitch now. I forgot I got rid of my underscore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just look Sadomi on Twitch. It'll be my face. Sadomi TV on most socials or just Sadomi. It's not the Bitcoin mining site. It's just, my face. You'll find it. And yeah, I play Rocket League and I'll be on sometime this week when I figure out what's going on with other stuff. So catch you then.
There you go. Go check him out, guys. Next up is MPI. What should people know about you and where can they find you, my man?
Yeah, so it's Mr. Pure Instinct on everything: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. I am working out the schedule right now. I've got some things going on. I just got dental insurance for the first time in like 2 years, so I have a few dentist appointments like back to back to back. But I'm working on doing some split streams. We're gonna start doing Monday through or Tuesday through Friday will be 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central, and then back again later about 1 to 4 or 5.
Gotcha.
So the first one will be like multiplayer, and then in the afternoon will be whatever story-based game we're playing that day.
There you go, guys. Go check them out. Again, all links are in the description if you're listening on the audio form right now. Last but not least, Veli, you know the deal.
I am Velokk_TV. You can find me at Velokk_TV on anything: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. If you want to send me snaps that I'll never watch, and Twitch, which I stream video games on.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
I like how you said you'll never watch the snaps when that used to be like your main platform, by the way.
Well, yeah, it still would be if it allowed. It's whatever. Yeah.
I'm gonna get tilted talking about that.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Snapchat.
This has been Stream Key. Again, we do this every single week. We're doing Mondays for now. If you want to catch the live show, which is nice because then we can release them right away the next day. So let's go out tomorrow. If you guys enjoyed the show, please be sure to leave us some feedback. You can leave us a review on iTunes or Stitcher, or you can send us a comment or question on Twitter, Discord, email, anything else. We've got a few questions from Discord and Twitter come in, and we love to answer those if you can't be here on the live show. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Just give us a few seconds, a few minutes. We're going to go prep up the Lemon Bake-Off stuff and the giveaway items, and we'll come back on the stream. And we'll see you guys next Monday for more Stream Key. But until then, Vel.
Boys up.
I could just go full head down with that, by the way. Just
Boys up.
eat the mic. All right, and Vince isn't here, so we can't do a clean transition. So I'm just going to get up and walk away, guys. All right.